Welcome back to Art Club. I'm excited to create one of these beautiful trees with you today. Isn't that gorgeous? So, what are we all going to need? Let's figure that out. So, we're going to need a piece of white paper. We're going to need a permanent marker. We are going to need our tissue paper, of course, and then we're going to need some glue. I'm going to be using a glue stick, but you also could use liquid glue if you prefer. So that's going to be kind of up to you and what you'd like. So step number one, we are going to be drawing a tree with our Sharpie marker. So we're going to start with a line kind of coming from the middle to the bottom of the paper. And we'll have it get a little bit thicker the further down it gets. In fact, you can even choose to color that in if we like to. You could also, if you don't want to use your Sharpie marker for this, let's say you've got like a brown marker and you want it to be brown, you could do that. Let's see if my other Sharpie marker is working better. This one looks like it is running out of some ink there. This one seems to be doing better. There we go. So if you want to color yours in, you absolutely may, or you can leave it blank, or once again you can color it in a different color too, but something looking kind of like that. I'll probably go back later and color the lighter spots in, but you guys don't need to watch me do all that. Okay, we're going to need some branches for our tree, right? We've got the trunk, but we're going to need some branches too, so go ahead and draw a bunch of big branches coming out from the trunk. That. And then out of those big branches, there's probably going to be some littler ones as well. So go ahead and draw those on in too. So it might look something kind of like this. Okay, I'll just get those last few here. Now, of course, if at any time during this video, if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause it or slow it down. And if you feel like I'm going too slow, feel free to speed it up. Go right into the settings and you can do any of those things that you need to, or once again, if you need to pause it, that's okay too. All right, now that we have got our tree kind of ready to go, we are going to make the leaves of the tree what we call warm colors. So here's what I want you to think of when you hear the word warm colors. I want you to think of a warm fire. What kind of colors would you see if you were looking at a warm fire? So take a moment and think about that. You'd probably see, what, some red, some orange, some yellow, right? Would those be some colors that we would probably see in a warm fire? I think so. So those are the colors that we want to use for the leaves of our tree. So go ahead and get out some of our tissue paper pieces. And we're going to go ahead and rip them up into leaves, right? So notice that there's no specific shape here, right? I'm just kind of ripping them. That's going to be some leaves. And I'm going to take my glue stick or your glue bottle if you want. Another thing that works well for this is if you want to take and use this glue, mix it with water and a paintbrush. That's another way to do this too. So there's lots of variations. You can choose whatever one seems the most fun and works best for you. Notice how, because I've got like this really the really dark color for the base of the tree, you can still see it even though I'm putting my leaves over the top. Now, okay, so far I've got what, yellow, but I didn't just say a yellow tree, right? I said warm colors. So red, orange, yellow, those are our warm colors. So I'm going to get out some more of those. I'll rip it up. Get the glue on there, and they can overlap too. So don't feel like all of those leaves have to be separate from each other. In fact, I bet if you look out ever at any trees, well, at least when they have leaves on them, that those leaves are definitely overlapping each other. There are thousands of them, right? There's so many. Okay, let's see, maybe I grab a different color of orange here too. This one's a little bit darker than the other one. So let's see how that, you can see it's just slightly darker than the other one I used, right? And of course I'm going to want some red too, so that's going to be the next one. Now, so for this video, just so it's not going to be like a 40-minute video or something like that, you know, I'm not going to show you every single piece that I would put down. But you get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm taking my warm colors and I'm creating leaves out of them for the tree. It's almost going to look like it's fall, right? When those trees start to turn colors. It's kind of giving that effect. And I love how you can see the branches through the tissue paper. I just think that that's kind of cool looking. I don't know. Alright, whoopsie, this one wants to stick. There we go. Put it down there. If they get a little wrinkled, that's okay too. I bet when we find trees out in nature. Oh my goodness, that's silly. I'm just noticing that on the camera here, this almost looks like it's orange. But in real life, I promise you, that's actually red. Colors are a little off, I think. Anyway, so you'll finish by putting, you know, all those warm colors, just really filling out that tree with lots and lots of color, kind of like we're seeing up here. Okay? Now for the background, we're going to use what are called cool colors. So we have warm colors on the tree itself. Cool colors are going into the background. So when I think of cool colors, what I think of is sitting by a lake and dipping my toes into the cool water, right? So the water is going to be, you know, maybe a bluish color, maybe even in some of the spots where it's like really, really deep, it even almost looks purple, and I'm sitting on the green grass. So those are the colors that we associate with cool colors: green, blue, violet, or purple, right? So we'll go ahead and get out some of those colors now and use those for the background. So once again, feel free to rip them. If you want to keep them full size, you can, but you can rip them too. Kind of gives them that nice rough edge and it looks kind of neat. And we'll add blue to the background and green to the background. Let's see, I want to maybe tear that one a little bit. So it's going to go over the edge. Once again, don't be afraid to overlap like that. And I might do maybe the blue goes all the way across the top. Let's see, but I said not just blue, we want all the cool colors, right? So what else was there? There was blue, there was green. I think green would be good for down at the bottom, right? That could be like the grass growing along the bottom. Blue in the sky, green grass down below. Maybe something kind of like that. Once again, don't be afraid to overlap them. Okay, and I can do more green all the way across. Still one more color though. What was that one? Blue, green, and, oh yeah, violet, also known as purple, right? We sometimes say green, blue, purple. So let me get that on out. If it'll come, it doesn't want to. It wants to stay in here, I guess. Actually, that one, the one I'm looking at was kind of a reddish one. I'm going to choose more of a true violet here. Alright, there we go. Finally got some to come out. So here's my violet. And maybe, you know what, for this, like you could just continue to kind of, maybe you add some into the sky, maybe you add some on the ground. I'm going to actually make mine kind of look like there's mountains. So I'm going to rip mine in half, but instead of ripping it half like down the middle, like this way, I'm going to rip it down the middle like the diamond way, because then these can look like mountains. That's pretty cool, right? Then we have the green grass in front of those mountains. Now, of course, you are the artist for yours, so you can decide how you want that to look, what you want it to be, but those are just some ideas for you. Okay, so we want the tree itself to be warm colors, the background to be cool colors, have fun creating this. And then, of course, when you're done, don't forget, add your beautiful artwork into our Hall of Frame. And I cannot wait to see how these turn out. See you again next time.